106.9 and 106.7 The Light take you behind the music. Ginny Owens.
I was born in Jackson, Mississippi, and born and raised there. And about the time I was 3 years old, I lost the little bit of eyesight that I had. I was born with fairly poor eye conditions inherited from my dad's side of the family. So my parents always knew there'd be a chance that I would not be able to see for the rest of my life. And sure enough, that was kind of what happened. They did a surgery that we weren't sure how it would go. It could have either restored my sight or eliminated it completely, and that was what happened. But my parents were just wonderful about giving me a most normal life and upbringing, and so I never really missed a beat and had lots of fun just growing up, living the way that the rest of my friends and neighbors did, and climbing trees and riding bikes and doing all those things. And I fell in love with music probably about the time that I lost my eyesight, a little bit before. Actually, I don't remember ever not loving music. We had an old piano in our dining room that the church was going to give away, and we took it, and that was what I learned to play songs on. I figured out maybe when I was about 2 that you could, pick out melodies on it, the songs that I was hearing in church or at nursery school. I could kind of play by ear on the piano, and so that was really fun for me and became one of my favorite pastimes even as a little kid. And so songwriting came a little bit later. I think I was maybe 7 or 8 when I thought it would be fun to start making up some words and melodies, and eventually songwriting kind of became my way of journaling. I always love to say that for me, songwriting is the way that I have conversations I'm not actually articulate enough to have in person. So when I began writing songs, they were about everything from my family to my relationship with God to boys, just the whole gamut of things were covered in my songs. My latest project is called I Know a Secret, and I found a few passages in the book of Philippians a couple years ago that really moved me. And Philippians is a letter Paul wrote from his prison cell. But in that letter, he says all of these amazing, hopeful things, these rich things, every verse from, rejoice in the Lord always, to let your gentleness be evident to all, to, make your request before God with thanksgiving. And I just thought, how could someone write these things from a prison cell? But after those verses, just after those verses, there's a verse in Philippians 4 that says, I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. And he goes on to say, I can do everything through him who gives me strength. And, being a person who grew up believing in God and believing that God could sustain me, I realized that that secret, that foundation is not always what I cling to. But, for Paul, even in this prison cell, to find that this secret, the secret of his faith, was all he needed, it just inspired me to kind of think, what are the ways that the secret of Christ plays out? How can I trust him more? What does it look like to really live with that secret? And so, it looks like all kinds of different things, and every song on this record is a reflection of part of that secret. So everything from, burying the hatchet, or laying down my weapons, or, believing who God has created me to be. All of these things, I think, are aspects of trusting him more and letting that secret be the foundation of my life and of our lives. And so every song basically just talks about, what is it to know the secret that we can do everything through him who gives us strength.
For more behind the music videos, click link.